On this edition of Alberta Dugout Stories, the podcast, two of the Western Canadian Baseball League's top speedsters join us to talk about their very different paths in the sport. Welcome to episode 141 of Alberta Dugout Stories, the podcast. I'm Joe McFarland. As the Western Canadian Baseball League season winds along, we wanted to give you a chance to get to know some of the players who've been entertaining us with their play this summer. That continues this week with a couple of stolen bases leaders, Dogs Black infielder Alejandro Cazorla Granados and Edmonton Prospects outfielder Conor Bronson. Now, grateful is a word that comes to mind when you hear Cazorla Granados speak. Grateful to be in Canada, to be in Alberta, and to be playing the game he loves. The young infielder was born in Venezuela, but with that country's political instability, his family moved to Canada. Initially settling in BC, Cazorla Granados fell in love with baseball, watching players from his home country like Miguel Cabrera and videos of Omar Vizquel. He moved away from his home away from home to Okotoks to attend high school at Dogs Academy, and as he says, he never looked back. He's accomplished a lot so far, including being near the top of the leaderboard in almost every offensive category this summer with Dogs Black. We caught up with him mid-last week to talk about his season and his journey, which will continue this fall at Crowder College. Alejandro, thank you so much for joining us here on the podcast.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. I've been following it for a while, so it's my pleasure to be on here for sure.
You've been tearing it up on the base paths at the plate for the Dogs Black team this season. What's been key to your success so far?
Honestly, definitely the process that's been built throughout the past 4 years. Obviously, I've been in the academy quite a while, and it took me a while to finally, fully buy into the process that they do out here. And I feel like once I came in, my later years out here, it's starting to click a little bit.
You're a Dogs Academy guy, as you said, probably grew up in a program watching the college team play, especially that championship run in 2019. What's it like now being the guy on the field for that team and seeing it all kind of come full circle?
It was definitely more than I could ask for. Fun fact, actually, is that 2019 year, Joe and Andy, luckily, gave me and this other guy in the academy named Fernando the opportunity kind of to travel around, practice with the team and stuff like that, almost like a red shirt kind of thing. But, to us being, 11th, 12th grade kids, like, it was everything. And, we'd go to the games, see packed stadiums, and all we ever wanted to do was, play in front of that. And now that I have the opportunity, unfortunately, Fernando had to go back to Mexico, but with that opportunity, I just want to give it everything I got, and it's definitely been more than I could ask for.
What did you learn through that experience of watching the team up close and personal like that, and kind of the identity of that team to maybe bring it to Dogs Black?
Definitely, the chemistry within the locker room that year was otherworldly. Never really seen anything like that, especially being around so many collegiate guys. Like, you definitely want to pick their brains when you have the opportunity to, and you kind of learn, how they go about their business. How bought in they really are to everything. That they're there every day. Getting their lifts in. Getting their extra work in before the game. It's not just 7:05 first pitch comes and then you're there at 10. Kind of realized what I kind of realized that year is you clock in 2-3 p.m. You get some work in before batting practice, and you take your batting practice. After that, you might have some more stuff to do, and then next thing you know, it's 7:05 and it's game time. So that year, finally understanding what it really took to become kind of a full-time ball player, that's kind of what I took most out of it.
You mentioned the fans. Being able to play in front of them has to be something special.
Oh, absolutely. And Okotoks has always had the best fans in the world, in my opinion. And seeing them at the field again, it's nothing but pure electricity, for sure.
What was it like being able to get back onto the field again? I mean, COVID kind of threw a wrench into everybody's plans, and to be able to actually play a game again, even take us back to that first one, and just the anticipation and excitement of being able to suit up again and play the game that you love.
I mean, feel like it was almost not real. Like, I remember our first game, we were going up to Lethbridge, and the bus broke down like 5 minutes out of town. Like, we had like a 2-hour delay waiting for the bus, and it's like, oh my goodness, we're not even one game done, and we're already back into this kind of stuff. So, like, with all that going on, none of us like really had like the time to realize, like, oh damn, like, it's our first game in a while. And when we finally hit the field in Lethbridge, like, I think it kind of took everyone by surprise. Not just being on the field again, but playing in front of a couple hundred people definitely got the boys a little jittery. But, you know, just being back on that field, it was definitely didn't feel real for a little bit.
Well, now that it is real, I'm curious as to your expectations for this season. Did you go into it thinking you were going to accomplish anything specific, or did you want to work on anything specifically? Walk us through your mindset as you wanted to kind of make your impact known here in the WCBL.
I guess I didn't really go into this season with expectations, like statistic-wise or performance-wise or anything like that. Like, mid-season, I just try to play at the end of the day. It is just a game, because when you get caught up in, you know, statistics or, you know, performance, stuff like that, it can spiral real fast, and I've been there before. And, you know, at the end of the day, this is my last year at the academy. I'm hoping, you know, to be back for a couple summers as well, hopefully. But you never know what can happen. So at the end of the day, I'm just taking it all in one last summer, at least for now, with a lot of the guys that I came up through the academy with, which makes it even more special. So every day, you know, don't take a day for granted, and, you know, take it day by day.
I was going to ask about that very point, and that being about the ability to be able to play with a bunch of guys that you've known for quite a while. It's almost like an extension of the academy team in a sense, and being able to play maybe another time together. What's it been like having some of your brothers alongside the ride over the course of this summer?
Oh, it's amazing. Like, some of these guys, how far they've gone, like, it makes me, and, you know, I know a lot of other people, like, really, really proud. Like, guys like Conor, Caden Zeroni, Tyrese Johnson, you know, I could name off a bunch of other guys, but, like, especially, like, those guys being here with me as a 15-year-old kid, and seeing them develop, you know, as much as I did, and become the young men that they are now. I think that's been the most amazing thing to come out of all this. Like, all of them A+ human beings, and I couldn't have asked for a better group of guys to come up with.
Well, I know that you've had quite the journey yourself when it comes to baseball, all starting in your home country of Venezuela. How did you get involved in baseball in the first place? When did you fall in love with it, and sort of what was it that fueled your passion for the game?
I guess back in Venezuela, unfortunately, like, with everything going on, there was never a time where I could get involved with, like, sports or, like, school activities and stuff like that. Things are a little bit different out there. So when my family decided to leave Venezuela, and we first moved to White Rock, BC, and we were just kind of, like, taken back by like, everything, like, from the sports world to, like, the recreational world, kind of all that stuff. Like, the community was, like, a lot closer. So my dad, like, found this, like, sign-up sheet for White Rock baseball or whatever, and signed me up. And or probably half a year before, like, the league even started, my dad and I would go to the field and practice every day as, like, a 6-year-old, 7-year-old kid. And that's probably when I first started learning the meaning of work ethic and stuff like that. Because as a 6-year-old, maybe you don't want to practice every day. You know, maybe you don't want to take ground balls and hit every day. But, you know, my dad was super persistent on it, and I think it was also kind of a way to keep me in touch with something back home, right? Because as a little kid, I didn't know what we had just been through and stuff like that. And as I started to grow up, you know, started watching more Major League Baseball, started watching guys like Cabrera. Then, you know, I'd watch videos of Omar Vizquel. Nowadays, Ronald Acuna. Like, it's kind of my way to stay in touch with my home roots, and that's how I fell in love with it. Unfortunately, I don't know when's the next time I'll be able to go back, but every time I'm on the field, you know, I like to think I'm representing a little part of my hometown and my family back home.
How did the opportunity to go to Dogs Academy come up?
Well, I was in ninth grade, and Matthew Wilkinson, that I've known him for quite a while too. We grew up playing down in the Lower Mainland. I was in ninth grade, and Alan Cox gave me a call around lunch, and I was thinking about going out to the Vauxhall at the time because I knew Liam and Danny Annan were out there, and they're pretty prominent names out in the Lower Mainland.
Mm-hmm.
So we tested the waters out there. We didn't know much about Okotoks. There's not a lot of guys from the Lower Mainland who'd go out there, especially since Matt and I played down in the U.S. We were kind of out of touch with Canadian baseball in general. So when I got this call from Alan, he kind of like sent me a couple links, sent me some videos of the facilities. I'm like, this can't be real. This is in Canada? Like, this can't be real. And I show Matt, and he's like, that looks pretty legit, man. Because at the time we were driving four to six times a week down to Seattle from White Rock, BC.
Mm-hmm.
So like the traveling training, like it was pretty tough for a 14, 15-year-old kid. And when Alan gave us a call and we saw it all, and the Dogs came out to Langley, we talked to Jethro, Hollick, and Val. We set up a little visit out here, and next thing I know, I'm out here for 4 years. So it all happened pretty quick.
When looking back on it now, what's that move meant to you and your development, not only as a ball player, but obviously as a human being as well?
It was everything, honestly. Out in White Rock, it's definitely a different lifestyle for sure. But I never really felt at home there. And the moment I came to Okotoks, everything just changed. Like, not only was I going to school and, seeing buddies at school every day, but they also happened to be my teammates. Like, there was like this form of brotherhood, of family that I just never experienced before. And, over the years, it just grew even more intense. And now, next thing you know, we're brothers for life. And I don't think there's going to be a time in our lives we're not going to be talking or thinking about each other for sure.
It's got to be a real special feeling, not only being able to kind of share this summer together, but I know that your next step in baseball also includes some of your brothers with the Dogs Academy, being Crowder. Walk us through that process and what it means to you to be able to take that next step in your journey.
It's going to be exciting for sure. I'm going down there with Caden Zeroni. He's, like I said, he's been out here with me for a while. Someone who really bought into this place, and it's paid off. And obviously, Crowder is not too bad of a school. I'm pretty sure they made it all the way to the semis of the College World Series this year. So we know they're about their business. We've formed pretty good relationships with the coaches already. But we know they mean business down there, and we know it's not going to be easy. But we know, being through here, we know what we're getting into at the end of the day. Like, we know the work we have to put in, and we're definitely willing to do it.
What was it about that program that stuck out to you that made you go, yeah, I want to go there next?
Unfortunately for my family and I, like financially, we haven't always been the best well off, and Coach Lauman and Coach Dowdy and the rest of the staff there, they were pretty persistent on getting me, and even before I committed, I felt like we all made a pretty good relationship with each other, and I was just straight up with them. I said, listen, like, you guys are an unbelievable program, all this, but we're not sure we're going to be able to afford it, because I was looking for more affordable options and stuff like that at the time. And they were gracious enough, to give me a very flexible option, and them as a staff as a whole, I just feel very comfortable with them. I feel like we already have this relationship starting to bond, and I can already tell it's a special place. So overall, just a place that gave me an opportunity. at the end of the day. That's why I chose it. They were the place that kind of set it up for me.
Speaking of opportunities, I know you've had quite a few over the course of the last few years here in Alberta to go to different places, play in different tournaments. I know you took part in T12, which was the last time we chatted with you. When you look back on your journey thus far, what's been the most rewarding experience? What's been the most memorable experience you've been able to have on a diamond?
Oh, that's a tough one. There's been a lot. I want to say that last game in Indianapolis with that 2019 Academy Black team, I want to say it was definitely probably the most memorable one, because that was one of the closest groups I've ever played with guys like Caesar and Micah McDowell as well. Other guys like Kendall Keller, Nicholas Tremblay, Jordan Lucier. I can name off a bunch of other guys too, but we were a close group, and we made it to semis, heartbreaking loss there. And that was kind of like the last game we played. A bunch of us played like as an academy team, or like even as a team in general, for a while, because a couple months later COVID hit.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you know, you didn't play baseball for a year. And
Mm-hmm.
so I always think to that last day, and I was like, man, if I only knew what was going to come.
Speaking of experience as well, as mentioned, you've had a lot of them to this point, and obviously at Dogs Academy you have those alumni roll through and they offer pieces of advice or wisdom for you. Now that you're kind of that guy, you're nearing the end of the academy years and you're heading to that next step. Knowing what you know now, what kinds of advice would you give to those young kids that are maybe 13, 14, 15 who are just starting out with the Dogs Academy or anywhere else in this province?
I definitely probably the biggest thing I tell them is, and it's pretty cliche, but you just buy into the process, like buy into what they're trying to do with you there. Because I was a stubborn 13, 14-year-old kid too at one point, and sometimes I was doing drills that made me feel uncomfortable, and maybe I wasn't having the best result with. But at the end of the day, like, it was only to get me better. Like, our coaches aren't there to get us worse, right? Like, you just buy into the program, buy into the process there, and the track records speak for itself, right? Like, the guys who bought into here, look where they're at now, and that's just probably as much as I gotta say. Like, buy into the process, and you don't know how far you'll be able to go.
Final question for you: what does a game of baseball mean to you?
Game of baseball, I mean, it's kind of what we've dedicated our lives to after the age of 12, 13, when I started realizing this is kind of what I wanted to do. And I mean, obviously family and God come before anything else, but baseball's right there next to those two. And everything I do, everything I live for has been for this game. I've had a very, very I've been very lucky to have such a supportive family throughout all this, because it's not easy to keep up with this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, it's just been an opportunity for me to get a better life. Somewhere better off where I would have been in Venezuela, and the opportunity to go to school, get education, and all this stuff.
Alejandro, you've had a fascinating journey in baseball to this point, and we're so happy to have you join us to share it. Congratulations again on all your success to this point and continued success going forward. Thanks again so much for joining us here on the podcast.
Well, I appreciate you having me. Hope you have a great rest of your day.
Next up is Edmonton Prospects outfielder Conor Bronson. His journey is a lot closer to home as he hails from nearby St. Albert. The 5'10", 195-pound left-hander comes from a family enveloped in baseball, so it was a no-doubter that he wanted to play the game as well. After suiting up with all kinds of teams in the capital region over the years, he moved away from home to Vancouver Island University of the Canadian College Baseball Conference for the 2018 season. Bronson's back now and having a solid season with the Prospects. We talked about it all last week. Conor, thanks so much for joining us here on the podcast.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You're originally from St. Albert, so what's it like playing for the hometown team of sorts, the Edmonton Prospects?
Oh, it's awesome. Honestly, I grew up and I've gone to a bunch of their games, and I've had some buddies I used to play with that went through the program, and they all loved it. And it's just an experience I'm happy I could be a part of, something I've worked for. So it's nice to finally get there.
How unique has it been being the Road Warriors, having home games pretty much anywhere and everywhere imaginable?
It brings me back to a lot of high school days. That's all those downs are where I played growing up. So personally, I've got a lot of familiarity with all of them, but we definitely have something special with the team having to play there instead of like some of these other teams that have their new stadiums or newly renovated stadiums. So
I
gives
suppose
us an edge.
Yeah, and I suppose it provides a little bit of an opportunity for everybody to kind of get to know each other and rally around each other. I mean, it's not affecting you guys in the standings, for example.
No, luckily enough, we've been playing pretty well, so hopefully we can keep that up. But it just kind of lets us focus on playing baseball. Don't get too distracted by the sights and sounds of some of the other stadiums. So
hmm
it's
How
good.
how nice has it been in getting to play in front of fans again?
Oh, it's unreal. It's been a couple years now. So firstly, just I haven't played a college level game in about 3 years. So just getting back to it and then having the fans and having them support you is just indescribable. It's if you want to play harder, play better.
You're a Vancouver Island University product as well. Like you said, it's been a
Yep.
while since you've been able to play baseball. How exciting has it been to just kind of get back out with the boys, and even if it's some new faces, just being able to get to play the game you love?
Oh, it's been a lot of fun. Like I said, been playing baseball my whole life, so just get back to it and play it at a high level and do whatever I can to win is really just it's been the best.
hmm
I don't know how else to describe it.
You're off to a great start, obviously, with the prospects as well. What's been key to your success, especially coming off a long break like you've been?
I'm just trying not to think too much. Having not played in a while, it's easy to get caught up in trying to make up for the time lost. Just trying to take it one game at a time, one win at a time, and do whatever we can to win. Really.
Did you have any expectations of yourself heading into the summer, or things that you wanted to work on so that you were ready for the next college season?
Yeah. Everyone comes in with expectation of themselves. I try not to put them too high on myself, but so like I know what I'm capable of. So I expect myself to do pretty well and maintain that high level to help my team compete. So if I do that, then I'll help my team in the college time too. So.
Anything specific that you've been working on to make sure that you're able to kind of hit the ground running, so to speak, especially during that break? Like, were you hanging out in the garage, or did you have a backyard cage? What were you using to kind of make sure you're passing the time effectively and constructively?
Yeah, during the pandemic, I actually set up a gym in my basement at my house. So just really just been working out a lot, trying to be in the best shape possible, and then hitting that in the cage, especially in Vancouver Island. We just got a new one built there, so I've been using that as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
So just those two things really help me stay ready always.
Very cool. Well, let's head back in time a little bit here and how you got into baseball in the first place. Do you remember the first time you grabbed a glove and a bat, and did you love it right away?
Oh, I don't remember the first time, no, but I know I loved it the whole time. My entire family's played baseball, really. My mom and dad played slow pitch the whole time I was growing up, so I'd spend a lot of weekends just at the diamond hanging out. And then for as long as I can remember, I've played baseball. It's been that and hockey, and then baseball just took over.
And obviously, you have that choice, right? Being in Alberta, it's typically hockey number one, football number two, and baseball somewhere afterwards. So, what was it about baseball that really kind of captured your attention, aside from the fact that you were constantly around the diamond with your folks?
It's just a lot of fun. How it's a team game played individually, but it's one that you can't win individually. A lot of other sports, you can have one guy take over, and in baseball, everyone's got to do their part, and you got to play it until the time runs out. You can never just kneel at the clock or waste time, because if you just lay back, then there's a chance of losing that game.
What made you decide baseball was the one that you wanted to chase versus hockey?
It's just always been the sport, really. Like I loved playing hockey when I was younger, but baseball's always what called to me, and I was better at baseball than I was at hockey, so it really was an easy choice once I got to that age. So,
aside from your parents, any favorite players or teams that you loved watching as a kid?
Obviously the Blue Jays. Hard not to cheer for the Canada team. But favorite player, Jacoby Ellsbury. He's an outfielder for the Red Sox. Saw him live in Seattle, so that was a real cool moment for me when I was growing up.
Very cool. Tell us a little bit about your baseball travels. And you've been to Seattle. Any other favorite parks that you've been to, for example?
I've been to a lot of spring training games with either with VIU or my parents. We'd go to Arizona, San Diego. So I've been to a lot of spring training parks, but I've only ever actually been to Safeco for MLB Diamonds.
Very cool. When it comes to the playing career, any favorite memories of the game and all your travels to this point?
Yeah, that's a tough question. Holy. Off the top of my head, I don't know if I can think of anything specific, but it's just, I don't know if I could tell you a specific moment. There's been a lot of fun times, but I feel like it's mostly just the people that make the moments the best. So,
speaking of people, you're playing for Jordan Blundell, a guy that you know really well from your time with Prospects Academy. Your coach at VIU is also part of the coaching staff with the Prospects. What have those guys meant to you in your development as a player?
Oh, it's been awesome. Especially, I had Jordan, as you said, in high school, and he's a great coach. He helped me a lot in high school, and then obviously going to VIU with Nick. It's been good, and so being able to have them both here when I come back, it makes the situation a lot more comfortable, a lot easier for me to succeed. So,
any other people you want to give a shout out to, teammates, coaches, otherwise?
I'll give a shout out to my parents. Wouldn't be where I am without them, so just got to thank them for that.
Absolutely.
Everything they do.
Absolutely. We always talk about advice for those young players just getting started. Maybe you were that kid growing up who saw an Edmonton area product come back to offer their advice. Now that you're that guy and have the benefit of hindsight, what advice would you give to those kids just starting their baseball journeys?
Don't take it too seriously. I had that problem a lot. I still do have that problem. But once it's over, it's over. And baseball is a sport where you fail a lot. So once you learn to be able to fail, laugh it off, and then you'll hit the ground running your next time. And it'll just help you succeed more and more and keep the love of the game going.
Absolutely. And speaking of the love of the game, final question is we always ask, what does the game of baseball mean to you?
It means everything. It's consumed most of my life, and I wouldn't be where I was today with work ethic, school, anywhere without it. So I owe it everything, really.
Fantastic stuff. Well, Conor, congratulations on the season that you're having to this point. Continued success, and thanks so much for joining us here on the podcast.
You're awesome. Thanks for having me.
Thanks again to Alejandro Cazorla, Granados, and Conor Bronson for joining us this week, and thanks to all of you for downloading and listening. If you haven't already, do us a huge favor and leave us a rating and review on your podcast app, as those actions help spread the word about what we're up to. And don't forget to head to our website for more profiles on WCBL players with our series 3 Up, 3 Down. Until next time, thanks for all of your support, no matter the platform of Alberta Dugout Stories.